Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Good Screen. My name is Russell.
My name is Lauren.
This is our 61st episode of the podcast.
8 more episodes to go.
8 more episodes to go.
Mm-hmm.
We are here once again to talk about a movie. We went to go see a new movie. But before we get into that, Lauren, what have you been enjoying on The Good Screen?
About the same as last week.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
We last recorded
like 4
less than a
days
week ago.
Yeah,
so we don't really have much to say. I mean, unless you have something more to say about something else that you watched.
No, I got farther into Baldur's Gate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm officially in Act 2 now.
Right.
I am caught up on Free Ren and Dungeon Meshi.
Yeah.
I think there's a new episode of Apothecary Diaries, but I'm not super interested in that show.
Okay. And you're still chugging along with Heartland.
Yep.
Yeah, you're on a roll.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Lots of content for me.
Yeah. Stare at that screen.
It's the good screen, so it's
the
fine.
Good screen. I know we're going to do a game episode soon.
Yeah.
Because we'll have a lot to talk about. It's been a crazy beginning of the year. I mean, I have like a game backlog thing that I'm working on slowly and surely. I'm still playing Pikmin 4.
Maybe you should make a list like how Skyward does.
I have a list. It's on my phone. I'll show you.
Okay.
It's on my phone. It's 5 games now because one of them I took off.
Well, Skyward has like a list of like 20 something.
Oh yeah, that would for me personally, like that might be good for Skyward, but like for me, I don't think I could do a list that's more than like 10. So yeah, here's my list here. It's the same as before. I can actually take Shenmue off because I decided that I'm not playing that game. It's good, but like it's a relic of its time basically. Yeah. And so the list is Final Fantasy VII, Pikmin 4, which I'm playing right now. Both of those I'm technically playing right now. Knights of the Old Republic, which I would have to get the Xbox out for.
Yeah.
God of War 2018 and Earthbound. A lot of those are really long games, and I know when I play Final Fantasy VII, or when I finish Final Fantasy VII, I'm going to go right into the remake and all the new one probably.
Yeah.
So that's my year.
Yeah.
I intend to play all those within the year.
Okay.
Can't believe it's February already, but but we'll have to do another game episode soon. Next weekend probably, because I'll put this one up. Maybe I'll put this one up on Thursday, even though it's not 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're here. So nothing else really to add. We just want to get right into the meat and potatoes this time.
Unless you want to say what your good screen is.
I don't really have one. Mine's the same too. I haven't really watched anything new or anything out of the ordinary.
Okay.
Yeah. I need to get on my watch list basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also been less than a week. Usually we have 2 weeks to really stew on this stuff. But yeah, we're doing this one quick because we just saw the movie that we're about to talk about. And we probably have enough to talk about for the movie to fill up the whole podcast because there's a whole lot of research I did.
Yeah, Russell went crazy.
I went crazy because last week Lauren was a little upset that we didn't do research on Mad Max Fury Road.
I just think it's boring.
It adds to the...
Yeah.
So... It
also adds context and like we can talk about the things about it.
Yeah.
It's harder with newer movies sometimes because not a lot will be out. But especially
there's enough out on this one.
I figured. Yeah. But like with Mad Max, I bet we could have gone into all about the production and the stunts and stuff.
Probably. Well. That's a shame.
Yeah, it is.
Well, good news is Argylle is a new movie. And there's enough information out about it that there's a compelling story behind it.
Okay.
So yes, we're about to talk about our main feature of the day, which is Argylle.
Argylle.
5 minutes in? What are we, like 5 minutes into the podcast? We're already
4
talking
minutes
about that?
30.
4 minutes? Okay. Well, that might be our fastest ever.
Speed running
the podcast this week. This is what you get for getting a 2-week upload or a week by week upload. All right, so we went to go see Argylle.
Yes.
And it was the first movie we saw Wonka this year, so it wasn't the first movie we saw this year.
It's technically the first movie you saw because you fell asleep in Wonka.
Right, I didn't fall asleep when we saw Argylle. It was hard to fall asleep to.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Although the same could be said about Wonka.
There's a lot going on in Wonka too, but I was more wired. I also had like a slushie.
Yeah, very
which
sweet,
really wired me.
Slushie.
Yeah, it was too much.
I took a sip of it when they handed it to me, and I was like,
"It was really sweet."
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I didn't even finish it. I couldn't finish it. I felt like my heart was going to come out of my chest. But yeah, we saw Argylle, the first movie released in 2024 of the year.
Okay.
Technically. A film marred by controversy and speculation and mystery.
I wouldn't say marred. I would say elevated.
Elevated, despite poor box office sales, which I will go into later.
Oh, God.
But so when this movie came out, it was pretty much critically not really seen to be all that well. I think it has like a 33% on Rotten Tomatoes, and the audience score is about the same.
Yeah, critics really poo-pooed on this movie.
I checked to see like YouTube reviews, and let me tell you one thing. YouTube reviewers, if you're reviewing movies on YouTube, not like a podcast form, but like 10-minute, little reviews, like
like people making videos
videos about reviews of movies. There's an untapped market for a woman to do that. Like there's one.
Only one?
Yes, and the only woman that I found that reviewed the movie loved it. And the rest, except for Chris Stuckman, because he loves every movie, and it's like a joke.
Okay.
But he liked it. He liked this movie. And then all the other ones were like, this is, the CGI was so terrible, and it was so wacky.
It really wasn't.
It wasn't awful.
It was just zany.
It was goofy.
It was satirical.
Yeah, you needed to go into this movie, I think, knowing like what it was going to be. If you walk into a movie and you see the cast of like every A-list actor and a cat in a bag on the cover, it's not going to be a serious spy movie.
No.
I'm sorry, and the director of this movie did the Kingsman movies and stuff like that, and those aren't necessarily serious movies. Like they're over the top action. Well, they're serious, I guess, in a way, but they're like over the top action movies, and we'll go into that a little bit later. But anyway, so Argylle is a movie.
Yes.
And it was directed by Matthew Vaughn, which I said earlier. He directed the Kingsman movies and X-Men First Class and Kick-Ass. So, Kick-Ass is another one where, it's goofy,
Was
silly.
that the one with Michael Cera?
No.
Oh, I'm thinking of something else.
You're thinking of something else.
Where he was, the superhero?
No, you're thinking of Super with the guy, Dwight.
I don't know. I never saw it.
No, it's not that. And he did a few more movies, but he did X-Men First Class, Kick-Ass, Kingsman, and more. It was written by Jason Fuchs or Fuchs. It's probably Fuchs.
Fuchs.
He was a screenwriter for Ice Age Continental Drift, probably the most important
Hell
role.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, and more.
I love that movie. More.
Yeah, More. My favorite movie. This is based on a novel by Ellie Conway. It's her debut novel.
Yes.
And she is not publicly facing. And we will go into more detail about that later.
Okay, good. I was hoping you would save that for last.
Yes. I'll save that for maybe after we're done talking about the movie. So, the cast of the movie is what I like to call a head-turner cast.
Okay.
Expensive cast, or
yes.
whatever you want to call it. Bryce Dallas Howard plays Ellie Conway, which is interesting. Sam Rockwell plays Aiden. Bryan Cranston plays Ritter. Catherine O'Hara plays, I think I spelled that name. I think I meant to say Rachel Conway. Henry Cavill plays Argylle. Sophia Boutella plays Saba Al-Badur. I'm butchering everything. Dua Lipa plays La Grange. Ariana DeBose plays Kiera. John Cena played Wyatt. And that's all I'm going to say for the cast.
Okay.
Despite there being more. Samuel L. Jackson's in the movie. And more. So they originally began filming this movie in 2021. Okay. Which is interesting.
Well, what was the delay?
I don't really know. This is out in 2024 now.
Yeah.
There was it's based on a book, and the book only came out recently too. it's just so strange. And I have literally the rest of my notes is about that.
I wonder if they had to wait for the movie to come out until they got the book out.
Yeah, and the book came out in January.
The book came out this year.
It came out this year, January.
Oh, I thought it maybe came out a few months ago.
No, it came out in January.
That's okay.
Really strange. Weird. Box office wise, Argylle is still in theaters, obviously. As of the 9th of February, it grossed $24.3 million in the U.S. and Canada, and $19 million in other territories, for a total of $43.2 million worldwide. And according to the website Variety, the film would need to gross $50 million to break even. And it did debut at the top of the box office, but The Hollywood Reporter mentioned that if Legacy Hollywood Studios released a $200 million movie with results like this, they'd be skewered. Also, Apple produced the movie.
Yeah, I didn't know that until I started watching it.
Did I forget to mention that earlier? It might be up within like the big spoilers section. So yeah. Do you want me to go into like the mystery part now?
Oh, like who wrote it?
Yeah. So,
no, let's save that for after our discussion.
Okay. So
because then we talk about the theories.
Yes, this movie is very interesting.
It takes you for a ride.
Yeah.
It's zany.
Yeah.
It's funny. I already said satirical.
Yeah, it's Apple sponsored, so everyone has a Mac. Did you notice that the bad guys, other than like the glass computers that they had, they always use like a generic looking laptop instead of a Mac. I think that was on purpose.
Probably.
Yeah.
They didn't want bad guys using their computers.
So, how do you even explain this movie? Like, first of all,
it's like
it's very entertaining.
It's like an Amnesia type plot line.
Sorta.
Okay, this is a spoiler-full podcast. So
yeah, so we're gonna really spoiler the movie. So it starts out with a scene from a book that Ellie Conway wrote.
Yeah, she's like doing a book signing.
She's doing a book reading. She's reading the book to a bunch of people, and it's basically like the scene that starts is an action scene with Henry Cavill and Dua Lipa. And it cuts, at the end of that, it's the end of the book, and everyone's clapping, and they're like, hey, when's the next book going to come out? And she goes, well, maybe soon. And someone said, like, hey, some stuff in this book is like kind of close to reality. Like, are you a spy or anything? And she's like, no, I'm not. I'm just the author. And so she like starts to work on her fifth book, because she wrote 4 of them at this point, and she gets like a brain fart. And and it's funny because like when they do that part, they're showing like what it would look like as if it was real life, and like there are words on the screen and everything, like it's like a mirror of both. And then she's like, well, I have to get away. I don't know where she was intending to go.
To wherever her mom's house was.
Her mom's house. And she went on a train, and it gets really bizarre after that. Like it gets very like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah,
so on the train she gets approached by this seemingly like random like free spirit type man.
Yeah.
Like hobo-esque type man.
Right.
And it turns out he's a spy.
Right.
And he's trying to protect her. And he needs her. And he's trying to protect her from bad spies that are also on the train. So there's like this huge fighting sequence where he fights off all the bad spies and they jump off the train.
And then he explains like, hey, the stuff that you're writing down is like pretty like accurate to like what's happening in real life somehow. And they're like,
yeah, and he's like, and we need you to tell us what happens next so that we know what to do.
Yeah.
And so basically he needs her for that, and the bad guys also want her for that too.
And she has writer's block, so she can't like do it right now. So they go on like a globe-trotting to London, basically. And hijinks happen, and it's like typical like civilian with the spy and everything. But she keeps getting like these weird visions that at first, I think his name's Aiden. Let me double check. At first,
the good spy?
Yeah, the good spy, Aiden. She's seeing him as Argylle, because he's, a spy and kind of goofy like him and everything.
And then she starts seeing herself as
and
Argylle.
then when they're in the car later, she starts seeing herself as Argylle, and in certain flashbacks, him as John Cena's character, which was Argylle's right hand man, Wyatt. And it's very, very bizarre, and she eventually leads them to the right place to get this MacGuffin, basically. And then she overhears, and this is the weird part to me. This probably could have been handled better, but Aiden's in the bathroom and he's on the phone with his director or whatever. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna kill Ellie Conway," or something like that.
She needs a bullet in her head.
She needs a bullet in her head.
And so then she scoops up her cat and she runs away.
Yeah, she's scared, so she goes to a phone booth.
In the end, she calls her mom, and she tells her mom, come to London, don't say it over the phone, but, you remember the hotel we stayed at, book that same suite and meet me there. So she goes there, and her mom is there, and then all of a sudden the door opens, and her dad walks in.
But the dad is, and there were other scenes where it showed him. He's the director of, the bad guys.
Yeah.
And you're, at this point, you're just, the first big twist of the movie.
Basically.
It's what is fucking going on here? And her parents are there, and eventually Aiden comes over to see her and shoot, and they're evil to him.
Yes.
Somehow, I don't know how, but he goes yeah, I think they're imposters. They're not your parents or anything like that. And they go off, and eventually, and this movie, I'll say one thing. I think it did go on a little too long.
Yeah.
The end just got a little bit too much there. And it turns out, in the end of things, they go to France, I think.
That's where Samuel L. Jackson was.
That's where Samuel L. Jackson is. And he's, their or ex-CIA or something like that. And he's hey, actually, you are not, Ellie Conway. You're,
Rachel Kyle. Our Kyle. And you were brainwashed by these people after an accident where you forgot, you lost your memory.
Yeah, and
they took advantage of that and brainwashed you. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's what the fuck is? Yeah. Again, what is going on? So she comes to grips with this, and she's okay, well, I have to get that the master file or whatever. And which I still don't really know what the purpose of it was.
Yeah, but
other than to maybe clear his name, and I think it's just a list of all the terrorist people.
I think so. I think it had everybody listed and all the crimes they committed.
Yeah.
Which I love how they keep that neatly filed away in one file.
Yeah, encased in a bullet.
And it's not even encrypted.
Yeah, it's not even encrypted. They just put it right into a. So
it's just sitting there on their
servers. Not to go over the whole movie, but it gets a little weirder after that. There are some little beats here and there, but there's at a certain point in the movie, it's just you're completely overblown with twists and that happened.
Yeah.
And not they said that, but what the
they
fuck is going on? And it's pretty good. I like, even though we ruined a lot of the movie for our podcasters,
this is a spoiler-full podcast.
Yeah, I would still say overall, go see this movie because it's interesting and the presentation is pretty good to a certain point. Again, it does kind of get a little come on, let's finish this up.
Yeah,
but at the same time,
there was a solid half hour they could have took out of that.
Yeah, at the same time, the ending part of the movie is very cool. There's a very well choreographed, and I think that second one, not with the smoke, but the other one, could have been cut from the movie.
Yeah, that was
just kind of extra silly. So there's an insanely silly shootout where they're on a boat and they have all these different colored smoke grenades and they're shooting a hallway Star Wars style.
Meanwhile, music's playing and they're dancing and
I think it's
a lot.
I don't remember what the music was.
I don't even remember either.
So, and then after that, they do another one where they pull. I will say one thing about the movie though, they pull a lot from earlier in the movie, little things they just mentioned about Ellie, which I liked. And that second extra fight scene, what are you doing?
I'm sorry, Lila's messaging me.
What does she say?
She said she's betting on the Super Bowl for the first time ever, and I have no idea what I bet on, but I'm excited. I did 3 bets.
Cool. I'm not betting on the Super Bowl. We'll talk about that later, probably.
Yeah, we'll probably talk about that next week.
Yeah.
I'm putting my phone on Do Not Disturb now.
Okay.
Sorry.
Your eyes widen like something terrible happened. Sports betting's not cool, guys.
She's gonna bet on the Chiefs.
Okay, so...
I bet she's gonna bet on the Chiefs.
But yeah, so there are like interesting callbacks to earlier in the movie, and the way the movie ends is like how it begins,
it's
or
very...
like the actual thing she was writing actually happens in a way.
Yeah, because she did it.
Yeah, and is wrapped up really well.
Yeah, so basically...
Well, not really, because they sequel baited it, but...
Yeah, so at the end, it's another book signing, book reading thing, and she's taking questions, and then a guy stands up, and it's Henry Cavill, but he's got, like, a curly mullet and a Texan accent.
Yeah.
He's like, I bet you have some questions for me.
Yeah.
And he said it just like that. And then the movie, black screen, the end.
And then there's a post-credit scene where, like...
They were at the Kingsman bar, but it took place in, like, the 70s?
But no, it turns out that is supposed to be about... if they do a sequel to this movie, they want it to be a sequel as if it was the first book that she wrote, but with him. Somehow.
Like, make a movie based
about
on the events of the
Argylle book that she wrote in the movie. It's really weird. And
that does sound weird.
I really want them to... I really want more people to... I want this movie to succeed, Lauren. I really want this to succeed. Because I want to see where they... If they take it anywhere else.
I want to see Henry Cavill with a Texan accent.
That'd be awesome.
For a full movie.
So, either way. So, let's go into the big question mark. Okay?
Can we talk about the theories first?
The theories are within the big question mark. I'm just going to set it up, okay? So,
All
Ellie
right.
Conway, this is her debut novel. The book was...
quote-unquote Ellie Conway.
Yes. The book was not even published by the time that this movie was announced. And...
yeah?
Hold on, I lost my place. So when the movie was announced, Ellie was mentioned to have written the book the film was based on, but almost a year later, in September 2022, Seth Ambrovich of The Hollywood Reporter wrote an article, Mystery enshrouds author behind Henry Cavill's spy thriller, Argylle. In this article, Seth questions who exactly Ellie Conway is. This is back in 2022.
Okay.
Noting that it was strange that Ellie's debut novel had already been adapted into a film with a star-studded cast.
Are you just reading from...
No, I paraphrased it, and I mentioned... I'm going to link the article and everything, okay?
Okay.
I'm not copy and pasting. He also mentioned that distribution rights cost Apple $200 million.
Yeah, so who the fuck wrote it?
Yeah. And at the time the article was written, Ellie Conway's Instagram account only had 9 followers. We'll go back to Instagram in a minute. One being a Bryce Dallas Howard fan account.
It's probably her.
Yeah. Seth Ambrovich also tried contacting Conway's agent, but never received a response. This is 2022.
Because it doesn't exist.
Let's go back to Instagram.
Okay.
Currently, Ellie Conway has 42.6 thousand followers, and she is following 29 accounts. I looked this up myself. This is all homegrown.
Okay.
Most of the accounts that she's following are cast from the movie,
okay,
film production related, or like Goodreads, Penguin, Random House, because they published the book. Her first post was a picture of the cover of Argylle, stating it was coming out in summer of 2023, and was posted in December of 2022.
Okay.
So it was delayed, and there was no mention of a delay at all. Other Instagram posts include coffee shops, promotion of other books, promotion of her book, including a picture with her hand in it. And in that one, there's actually 2 pictures of her hand in it. Okay? And one hand doesn't have any nail polish on, and the other does.
Like the left hand does and the right hand doesn't?
No,
or
it's
like
the same. It's the same left hand. It's 2 different places.
Okay.
I don't know if it was
like 2
pictures.
different times.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe it wasn't her. Maybe it was like a fan, because it's 2 different places in the background too.
Okay.
So just keep 2 in your head, okay?
2.
Also, she's from New York, so all the random pictures were like places in New York.
Okay.
Her latest post, is just a picture of a street in New York with the caption, well, as they say, pencils down. Maybe Argylle is right. The greater the spy, the bigger the lie. The book only hit shelves on January 9th, 2024. So about a month ago.
Yeah, so was that line supposed to like infer going back about how her identity is a secret and stuff?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And it was the last post.
Yeah.
So a trailer was released that revealed Ellie Conway was a character in the movie, which, again, nobody really knew that at first.
Yeah.
And then when the trailer came out, they're like, what is going on here?
So is the Argylle book the actual story of Argylle, the Henry Cavill character? Or is it what happens in the movie?
I don't know. I started reading the audiobook, but listening.
I
started listening to the audiobook because it's on Spotify.
Yeah.
And I've determined that I think it's just like the movie. I think it's like a movie. Yeah, it's basically the movie.
That's boring.
But I'll dig deeper.
That would have
into
made
that
the
later.
movie even more interesting if it wasn't even about the book.
Yeah, I mean, I'll dig more deeper into that later, but
okay.
It maybe, I don't know, maybe the book is actually like the first book in her series.
I feel like that would make more sense.
Yeah, I'll look into it a little more. That's the one thing I wish I had more time for, because I would have to be a few chapters in to and I was listening to The Expanse and I was really into it, so
yeah, I
didn't really want to. Anyway, and also in that book, there is in the slip cover, the dust cover, or whatever you want to call it, in the About the Author section for Ellie Conway, it's just a picture of Bryce Dallas Howard, which fine with me, honestly.
Yeah.
I love Bryce Dallas Howard. She's mother.
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't write this book.
No.
Or maybe she did. Big mystery here. So who is Ellie Conway? Is a lot of people be questioning. I completely forgot how to say a sentence. So the big controversy is that people at some point were coming to conclusions, very wrong, but the question at one point was, is Ellie Conway Taylor Swift?
Yes.
This is the weirdest part about all this. Swifties came to the conclusion that the Ellie Conway situation just didn't add up. They were all in on this. They saw the movie. They saw the cat, and everything.
Yeah.
They noted that the author is probably using a pseudonym.
Pseudonym. Not synonym.
Sorry. You heard the sentence I just said, so
yeah.
Don't expect me to say everything right.
Wrong right now.
In the movie, Ellie Conway uses a windowed backpack to carry her cat around while she's traveling. Lauren called this an Among Us backpack while we were watching the movie.
Yeah, it looked like an Among Us.
Yes. Ellie's cat is also a Scottish fold cat, in which Taylor popularized, as she owns a couple of them. And there's even a picture of her with a similar looking backpack online. So in the movie, Bryce Dallas Howard has bright red hair, which is similar to how Taylor's hair looked in the music video for the song All Too Well, where she portrayed an author.
Yes.
In the music. I am.
You should watch it. It's really cool.
I'm not a Taylor Swift super fan.
I'm not either.
I did buy a CD.
You did buy one CD.
Yeah.
I'm not any kind of Taylor Swift fan, but I did really like that music video thing where it was basically she made like a mini movie thing.
Kind of like Justin Timberlake did that with one of his songs. What was it? I don't know, one of the songs. It was like it cut to like a movie in between. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like
this was like a movie going on like type thing as the songs went on.
Okay.
Like a sequence.
Well, and to add even more to that, prior to her most recent tour, Taylor Swift posted photos on Instagram of her rehearsing. Fun fact about the rehearsing: she did that really close by the movie theater we went to in Lidditz, at Rock Lidditz.
Seriously?
That's where a lot of people rehearse there. It's like a huge production like place, but that's where she did it. So I guess, I mean, there's your bone to the people who live in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, she still hasn't given a dime back to Reading. Yeah,
I think she's given a dime. I'm coming around on her.
No.
Not like in a super fan way, but like some things about her are hilarious. And then there's like, good and bad to everything, like the jet.
The jet is very bad.
private jet flights and everything like that. But
yeah.
Anyway, so in one of the photos of her rehearsals, she's wearing a sweater that says Conway Studios.
Our neighbor's home.
The movie was released on the 4th of February, 2024, 112 days from the 13th of October, which was the day that the Eras Tour film was released in theaters. Taylor Swift has this thing with the number 13, so you know, 112 13.
How the fuck that's does how that Swifties count. 13?
Swifties see the 12 and the 1, and they add it and make 13.
What the?
I don't know. That's where you lose me.
Yeah.
But shortly after the movie came out, it was debunked. It's not Taylor Swift. And it was debunked by the director, Matthew Vaughn. He had to make a statement in late January, I guess before the movie came out, asking fans not to get their hopes up about Taylor Swift being the author of the book and who the character is based off of.
Mm-hmm.
And he had to quote, "I'm not a big internet guy, and it was actually my daughter who came up to me. This is the power of celebrity and the internet, and said, 'You never told me Taylor wrote this book.'" So he had to come out and say, like, "Hey guys, no, we're not doing that." So the truth has been revealed. You ready?
Yes. Drum rolls, please.
On February 2nd, which is honestly probably a few days too late. Or early, I guess. Because if they would have kept rolling with the Taylor Swift thing, those movie theaters would be packed.
Literally. If they had, bought into that a little bit.
Yeah.
It'd be crazy.
On February 2nd, 2024, Jake Carriage wrote an article for The Telegraph that revealed the identity of Ellie Conway. The article was titled, "I hope Taylor Swift fans aren't disappointed. The real author of Argylle Unmasked." Ellie Conway is actually two people.
Ellie and Conway?
No. I lost my place. Hold on.
Oh my God, Russell.
I need to put a marker. So Ellie Conway is actually two people, Terry Hayes and Tammy Cohen.
I've heard of neither of these people.
Terry Hayes wrote the novel I Am Pilgrim, which was featured on Ellie Conway's Instagram. Okay. As one of those books that she was
was that supposed to be a nod?
I think it was supposed to be a nod. Really interesting. And Tammy Cohen wrote the novel When She Was Bad. That was not featured on her Instagram.
Okay.
The context is I Am Pilgrim was published in 2013. And the director, Matthew Vaughn, wanted to adapt I Am Pilgrim, but he couldn't get the rights from MGM for bizarre reasons. And I have that in quotes. Matthew Vaughn asked Terry Hayes to write an accompanying book inspired by a movie he was working on. That was, Argylle. Mm-hmm. And Terry asked Tammy to assist in writing the book with him, hence the co-authorship on Argylle. And there you have it. Kind of, once you find out, it's not as interesting.
Boring.
So now it's boring. So basically, it's a concept invented by... I'm
returning my ticket.
Yeah, it's a concept invented by the director, but he needed help to get someone to write it, like a book, because he's a director and a screenwriter probably, and it's two different things. So that's the great mystery.
That's a really disappointing answer.
So
I was hoping it'd be some sort of celebrity.
Right?
Right?
Like a newbie, but no, it's actually a well-established author.
I've heard of neither of those authors.
Yeah, but whatever.
I'm not very well read.
But anyway, so it wasn't received well by critics and fans alike, but fuck them. I wrote.
Honestly, yeah.
I liked this movie. I thought it was good. There's a potential, we'll see how it goes, but again, it could be a film franchise. Back in 2021, Argylle stated to be the beginning of a franchise for at least 3 films. The second film in the series would be a prequel covering the first Argylle novel, as in what Ellie wrote in the film. And the post-credits scene of this movie was a joke.
Yeah.
It's actually teasing that. Because that was the character of Argylle.
Mm-hmm.
And they said coming soon, Argylle Book 1 the movie. I really hope they keep that name. That'd be so funny.
That's a crazy title.
That'd be so funny. But they're intending to do that. Like, that was actually set up for the prequel, because that's supposed to be like Argylle's beginnings. And that character that was not Henry Cavill was supposed to be Argylle.
Yeah.
In that movie. It's so weird.
So then what is the third movie going to be?
I don't know. Maybe like the converge. Like the end of Argylle and the like end of Argylle. I don't know. And like some characters from the prequel like converge into one like final movie. I don't know. I'm interested though. And you know what? We have all these franchises and everything. Can't we just get a new one and we get it and everyone's like, I don't like this. This is stupid. This is silly. But like I'm over here like I love this. I want them to make another one. This is new and like kind of original.
Yeah, cinema's bad, honestly.
Yeah, the way that they handled it, everything about the movie was, I mean, I shouldn't say original, but like it was a spy movie. Mm-hmm. It did its job. Mm-hmm. There were some parts that were like actually like, whoa, that's wild.
Yeah.
And especially my favorite part was when the parents showed up, because that was what like the big like what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Here yeah.
That was the big twist that got me.
That got me. I think I got a lot of people in the movie theater. Like our movie theater was not full.
I mean, it was a small theater, but it was full for what it was.
Yeah, for what it was, and
like we only had a select number of seats.
Got a lot of laughs. A lot of laughs. I read a review on Letterboxd, which I don't think was accurate. Someone said it was like The Room, and no, I don't think they've seen The Room, like the action version of The Room. And I was like, no, what the fuck is wrong with it? What is wrong with people? Shouldn't free speech?
Take it back.
So I thought it was a good movie. I'm glad to see something that isn't a Marvel or Star Wars and kind of get its time in the sun. Unfortunately, and again, I think they should have waited to reveal who wrote it until like the second week.
I think they never should reveal it.
Yeah, they would have thought it was Taylor Swift.
Theorizing and thinking it's Taylor Swift or someone else crazy like that. So the people are drawn to the movie. That's half the reason why I wanted to go see it. Was when he told me that theory.
Yeah, we heard that theory, and I'm like, this has to be the next episode. Mm-hmm. So yeah, really good movie. It's on Apple TV Plus.
What the fuck?
By the way, so we don't have.
So I didn't have to go spend $50 at the movie.
No, we had a good time though. Your friend came along.
Yeah, my friend did come along. Yeah.
It was a good time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't fall asleep.
You did not. Neither did she. I know she said she was worried about that too.
Yeah. So, good times.
Yeah.
All right. So, obvious good screen there.
Yeah. And she did not send me her thoughts on it, but I do know that she enjoyed it.
Okay. Yeah, she did. Mm-hmm. She said she liked it. She was laughing too.
Yeah.
Yeah, she thought it was good.
And when they got in the jet, we both turned to each other like at the same time, and we were like, oh my god, it's just like Taylor Swift in her jet.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, another reference to Taylor Swift. They should have never said who wrote it.
No.
This would be the biggest movie.
Or
this
at least
would be like
have waited
level
until
movie.
like the whole series was over and been like, oh, by the way.
You know what they got to do now? Taylor Swift has to be in the prequel.
What if Taylor Swift plays a young Ellie Conway? No, they don't look anything alike.
They would. She would play the young Dua Lipa, even though they're both the same age. She should be in the next movie. Just as like a nod to like like, oh, you're really familiar with the red hair and everything and the cat. Just like that'd be the funniest like fuck you moment. And like part of the reason why I think the critics didn't like the movie is because there's like for straight white men there's like this disdain towards Taylor Swift. And they probably like had those subconscious thoughts in the back of their head, and that's why they were looking at it so critically. When it was supposed to be it was listed as a comedy spy movie. What the fuck do you expect from a comedy spy movie other than like a ridiculous plot and like the strangest like twists in the world? Like, come on.
I feel like this movie, to me, the way they came off. Mm-hmm. Because it was super funny, right?
It was funny, yeah.
But also, it's like...
intentionally bad acting, because it's supposed to be corny.
Yeah, it's intentionally corny.
Yeah.
It's very cheesy. Mm-hmm. It gives into, like, a ton of tropes.
Yeah.
But it was very enjoyable because of that.
Yeah, it made me want to get the yellow iMac. Even though
I want the pink one.
I wouldn't put. Where would I put it?
Well,
you put it where you're. You can put it right there.
Not that I use it. I don't even use my Mac that I paid $1,000 for that much.
I don't even use my MacBook.
I have not gotten my money's worth out of this thing.
Well, when you go back to school, you will.
Yeah.
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 If you go back to school. So, same deal with me. I mean, I got that for school. I haven't gone back yet. Anyway, it was also it's half off.
Mine was refurbished, but with my Apple Care, it ended up being like regular price.
Yeah. Mine was $500 and it's
mine
fine.
was like $900.
It has 16 gigs of RAM too, so.
I don't know what mine has.
But anyway, before we start just talking about our computers, hey, we use it for the podcast, so you know.
You know what? There we go.
Yeah. Justified.
Oh, speaking of the podcast, we've gotten a lot of views on our Mad Max episode already.
I think it was because I tagged anime in it. Because you talked about anime for a little bit.
Maybe we should need to do that with all of them. Have we cracked the code? There was like 80-something views.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
No comments, though. One like. We got one like. Okay. It's probably Skyward.
Have we got any emails?
No. Other than that, it looked good. It looked good on YouTube. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So that's pretty much all we got on Argylle.
Yeah.
Good movie. Mm-hmm. If you have a chance to see it in theaters, even though we ruined it, I'd say go see it. Just,
Well, you just said it's on Apple TV or whatever.
It's on Apple TV Plus, too.
Yeah. Maybe give it a watch. It's a funny movie.
Yeah. Cool. So that's pretty much it. Screenless shout out. Super Bowl?
That's a screen.
Oh, shit. You're right.
Well, we're watching it on a screen, but it doesn't take place on a screen.
It does take place on a field.
On a field.
I mean, you could get... you could talk about movies. They don't take place on a screen. They take place in wherever they shoot them.
Yeah. Well, we haven't watched the Super Bowl yet. It's not on for another few hours.
As of right now.
Yes. I'm dressed to support my team, which is not either of the ones playing.
You're wearing your Eagles shirt and your Eagles hat.
Yes.
And I don't know
I'm going to wear my green shoes, too.
Yeah, because they were in the Super Bowl last year.
Well, why don't you just find a green shirt?
It needs to be washed. We don't have time.
If it doesn't smell, it's fine.
I don't know. But, yeah, so Super Bowl's coming up. I don't know if I would say that's my screenless shout-out.
I'm looking forward to the halftime show to see if Justin Bieber's going to be there like everyone thinks he is.
Why?
Because it's with Usher.
What did he do with Usher?
Usher, gave Justin his celebrity.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. Well, that'd be cool. What if Taylor Swift shows up?
What the fuck would she be doing there? This whole theme of this Super Bowl is throwback to 15 years ago.
You know what I've realized about the Super Bowl, with the halftime show? Usher is in the halftime show, right?
Yes.
In 2005, I remember the Super Bowl. That was the year after the whole Justin Timberlake titty thing with Janet Jackson.
Yeah.
And they were like, we got to go to the old fogey stuff, okay? Mm-hmm. So they got, I think it was Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. And he was popular in the 80s.
Yeah.
It has been as much time since then that Usher was popular in 2004. Mm-hmm. And it's 2024. It has been the same amount of time, and Usher...
Oh, they're just doing it again.
Still somehow the same
20 years later.
And now, this is basically oldies now. But it's Usher, and he's still kind of relevant somehow.
Yeah.
And he's not, obviously, wasn't as old as Tom Petty back then, but he's not in his 60s now. But,
Mm-hmm. How old is he?
I don't know. Probably in his 50s. Maybe 40s. He started really young. But... it's just, time is
45.
45. But yeah, he's still out there and he's dancing, doing his shit. But yeah, it's crazy. Things, a lot of celebrities just don't age. It's weird, right?
Well, I think part of it is because they don't have real jobs.
They don't have the stress.
And they get to relax and...
pursue their passions their whole life.
Yeah. They don't have to worry about bills.
Mm-hmm.
They truly just live their best life.
Traffic? What's traffic?
Yeah, I fly my private helicopter across the city to go to Whole Foods.
They're all fucked if something big happens in the world. They're the ones who are fucked.
Oh, absolutely. They're not going to know what the fuck to do. They're not going to have the tools or the mindset for it.
Yeah. I mean, we are too, but like they are more. Can't get your private jet when there's, war happening over the skies.
Yeah.
Got to go into your little bunker, Taylor.
Yep. Yeah, Taylor. Get in your
Got to go back to your bunker in Berks County. That's what I bet that's what she has here.
A war bunker.
A war bunker. Yeah, so do you have an actual Screenless shout out?
Oh. No.
No.
Once again, it's been like 4 days since we last filmed.
Yeah, we'll have we'll do the I paused my game to be here next.
Oh, weekend. I would maybe say I have a really good opportunity at work right now.
That's nice.
I'm interviewing. I did confirm my interview is tomorrow at noon.
Nice. So, we can cut this part out if you want, but since you're working a little earlier, doesn't that mean that we could potentially return to weekly?
I don't know. I'm not making any promises.
Okay.
I kind of like bi-weekly because we have more things to talk about.
We do, yeah. That's true.
And worst case scenario, if we do bi-weekly, still, we could just do 2 movies.
Yeah, that was too much. It needs to be under 2 hours because I can't upload through RSS.
Yeah.
And also, the 2-hour-long ones did not do well. Except for the Hunger Games one. The Hunger Games one did really good. But that had to be, and that wasn't even 2 hours long, I don't think.
I think bi-weekly is fine.
Okay, well, we'll be more
concise. Also, if I
and...
go back to school, then the answer is absolutely no.
But here's the thing, though. You work until 9 on your new schedule, right?
Yeah.
And movies play until, 10 on Tuesdays? So we could, in theory...
Do you know how far away Lidditz is from Wummelsdorf? No. It's almost an hour.
All right, this part I'll cut out. So, okay, maybe I was wrong. I'm sure another movie theater does it, like the Fox.
Ew.
Or the AMC. It's now an AMC. But either
we'll
way,
see. That's down the line.
We'll see.
I don't even know when my transition's going to be. It's pretty much confirmed I'm going to get this role. They're just doing this interview as a formality.
Yeah.
But I still have to be replaced.
Okay. So. Well, I'm still doing the same thing, so I just think about the podcast every day, and I'm like, I wonder what we could do next. But yeah.
We watch another movie.
Well, next week, we already have it confirmed that we're going to be watching The Iron Claw.
Yes. And then...
Comes to streaming soon.
Yeah, it comes to streaming in the next couple of days. And then after that,
Dune.
We will be doing Dune 2. We bought our tickets today to go to see a showing on opening weekend in IMAX.
Yes.
All the way in the back in the middle.
Yep.
It's going to be great. We're going to have to get there really early because we're literally right in the middle.
Bucket.
I want the popcorn bucket, and I'm going to put my penis in it. God damn it. It's my American right.
Okay. So, yeah, we're pretty well scheduled up. I was thinking, this year would be, kind of dry for new movies, but overall...
It's starting out pretty sloppy.
Turning out, like in a bad way?
Oh, no, not in a bad way.
Sloppy and wet, not dry.
Not dry.
Okay, yeah. Even though, the first, Wonka and now The Iron Claw are movies that technically came out last year, they're still new to us.
Yes.
So,
yeah. It might as well be new.
We won't have to spin the wheel until the middle of March. That's true. We won't have to spin the wheel until, the middle of March.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, well, I guess, hey, that's it. What time are we at, anyway?
48.
Oh, that works for me.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right. Well, again, if you enjoyed this podcast, you can reach out to us on our social media links, which I will include in the description of the podcast.
Were you not before?
I was, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I always did. That's the one thing that was always consistent.
Okay.
You can find us on Twitter. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Threads, YouTube, and email. Our Instagram, Good Stream Pod.
You need to write this down.
I need to write this down. I did this so good one time.
This is grading.
Okay. And we try this again. If you like the podcast, you can reach out to us on our socials. We're at Good Screen Pod on Instagram and Threads. And our email is goodscreenpod@gmail.com. I will have all the details in the description of the podcast. If you have any questions, let us know. Leave a comment on YouTube. Comment on the post on Threads. I look forward to them every week. And I don't get them every week, but that's okay.
Rate us 5 stars on Spotify and rate us on Apple Podcasts.
And leave a review on Apple Podcasts
yes.
because apparently that's really good and we can actually see them.
Mm-hmm. Do we have any?
I don't think so. And every time I check, I'm like, oh, let me check and see if we have a review. We don't. But we do have someone rated at 5 stars at one point.
Okay.
So that's fine. That's good. Our rating is clean.
Yay.
Which I don't know what
Nobody
that means.
better go leave us a 1 star.
It'd be so funny. I would just hit the 5 star really quick. But yeah, that's where you can find us. And hope you look forward to the next episode where we talk about a bunch of games, and then the episode after that where we talk about the Iron Claw.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll see you later, Lauren.
Yeah, bye.
See ya. We got an hour or two? Oh, we need to go soon.
Yeah.
All right. Well, bye-bye.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.